What's real, what's fake? That's actually quite an interesting one. I mean, I think some of the reality, I think there's a slow burn still on Open RAN. I think that it's getting there, but my view is it's still a long road to go. I think I've heard more interesting stuff about some of the applications and the RIC aspects of it this year. So one of the things I particularly noticed is this reference to spectrum agility as a potential application on a programmable radio network, and that fits with a lot of things that I'm talking about on things like spectrum sharing and future sensing capabilities. So that was very interesting. It's whether it's real yet or whether I think it's something I would like to be real. I think that there's been a lot of focus here on AI. And whether it's AI for the RAN or telco AI generally, I think that's interesting, and I think clearly AI has a huge number of use cases in the telecoms, both on the operations side and on the network side. I still am not convinced by things like GPU as a service or AI at the edge. To me, that looks like Mech version 2, and that didn't go so well the first time around. But I think that the use of AI for whether it's fixed or mobile network, whether it's planning and design, whether it's perhaps some of the things in the internals of the network in the future, some of the things that I heard from NVIDIA, for example, around essentially trying to do a digital twin of the radio environment sounds interesting, and I know that obviously yourselves, Amdocs, do quite a lot on the customer-facing side as well as the internal operations. So certainly, there's going to be a lot of requirements around Gen AI for whether it's around billing inquiries, customer service, but also sort of network engineering tasks as well. So there's some interesting opportunities around productivity. I'm still curious to know exactly what TIP's angles on it is going to be, and I think TIP itself has been changing. Clearly, it's gone from something that was primarily backed by Facebook Meta to one which is much more member-driven in the individual groups. So each team has a different set of deliverables. So I'm curious to see how that evolves on Telco AI. I've done quite a lot of effort this time around on the neutral host and infrastructure sharing groups. And also something which isn't a group yet, but might be in future on application level quality of experience. So on the neutral host is really developing into initially something that's talking about business models, about playbooks, whether that's for in-building, whether that's for, there's quite a lot of emphasis here on cities and metropolitan densification. And the link between TIP and the City Telecom Association, with Dublin as a key part of that, is really interesting because there's a lot of stuff from a municipal point of view around planning, whether it's where can you put towers, with the aesthetics of it, digging up the road, smart city capabilities. And so that's an interesting sort of look at looking at infrastructure sharing in a slightly different angle. And then there's some other stuff that people are talking about, rural and a few other use cases. And then last one, quality experience. That, as I say, it's not a project group at TIP yet, but that I just moderated a panel which was fascinating because we had two service providers, so Comcast on cable side and Telefonica from fixed and mobile background as telcos, with Meta, TikTok and YouTube. And understanding the trade-offs between collaboration perhaps versus monetization, but this was focused on the collaboration of whether the network can provide information to applications or vice versa to make the two things work better, about whether there's congestion, whether there's things that can be done to adjust the network efficiency through turning up and down, maybe not the frame rate, but messing around with how you can optimize for latency given the constraints in the network. There's some very interesting stuff there, and it's very good to have people on both sides of the network side and the application side, and there's apparently some standards work being done at IETF which might in future have an important role to play there. So it's been pretty good. I've been here for 3 days and I've got a lot to think about and talk about.